You notice in my unboxing video, the cross slide was really loose. You know, when I was turning like this, when I had the very top cross slide that I removed. But as you can see, I removed it. And let's see if here it is. This is it. This is this one, and it was really loose. And the reason why it was loose because it was not tightened correctly. As you can see, there's 3 set screws, and I guess the person that had it did not tighten it real good. So it was a little bit of wobble when you you know, try to move it or try to slide it. Cutting tool was very low. It was below the point, so that's why it didn't cut very well. So when I modified it and removed these extra blocks, these rising blocks, and lowered it down, it just became a better machine, and it cuts better. As you can see right here, you have this I put this steel plate. I put 2 on each side, and I think I said this in my other video, but I'm not sure if I have that video, so I'm showing it to you again. So I put 2 plates, 1 on each side that is steel, and I made this plate. This is aluminum, so I made it out of aluminum. And yeah, I just wanted to say, you know, when a lot of individuals purchase this lathe for the first time, they have a hard time using it, and it's really hard to cut metal with it. Just for the fact that the tool is not aligned properly, for once, and 2, is a bit of give on this gearbox and the headstock of this lathe, because there's no mounting plate or no steel plate in the front of it. It's only in the back or the rear, but you also need to put a steel plate in the front, and that would just make it so much better. It will make it be easy to machine metal more better. It'd be actually, what I'm trying to say, it would make machining the metal easier by putting a steel plate on the front to keep the vibration down and to keep the headstock from swaying or from actually bending when you feed into the metal or into the metal stock. So that's what you have to do. So that's why, and I did this in a video earlier, I did a full tweak and modification of this lathe. So this is why it looks slightly different than before when you first saw it. So I just wanted to mention that. Yeah, you have to make sure this cutting tool is lined up with the center point, and this is what you do. You know, you just bring the live center out as far as you can, and then you do this, and you line it up. As you can see, you make sure that the center point lines up with the top of the cutting tool. Make sure it's exactly center, and then you can see it here. But yeah, look at that. Make sure it's lined up, and this cutting tool is right at the point. And if it's below the point, it's not going to cut properly. It's going to make it, you know, really hard and really give you rough cuts. So you may need to raise it, and to raise it, you can use just a washer or till it gets to the right height, till it gets to exactly the center of this point. And this is how you line up your lathe and your cutting tool to get a better cut. And you can see the back steel plate, and this comes with it originally. But this one I actually made. I machined it. I made it myself out of aluminum. This is actually aluminum, and these 2 are steel. So you want to put the steel plates on this part, especially on the front, to give it more support. And once you do that, it cuts so much better. I mean, when you feed into the metal and when it does the cuts, it cuts so much better. It puts less force, you know, on this part. You have less vibration, and it doesn't bend when you put an extra steel plate. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that in this video. How much time I have? Yeah, it's been 5 minutes, so I just wanted to talk about that. And basically, this is why the #1 reason you see a lot of guys selling this lathe, for that reason. And also, most importantly, I forgot to mention, is the cutting tool. You know, when you have this cutting tool, make sure it's only sticking out from the slide, the cross slide, by 3/4 of an inch. So basically, you don't want this cutting tool to be sticking all the way out where it's out too far. But you make sure you take this cutting tool and you push it back to where it just sticks out just 3/4 of an inch or even less. Even like a 1/2 inch would be even better. But I have it sticking out just 3/4 of an inch from the edge right here. And you want to, you know, you want to push the cutting tool back as far as possible, but leave it out enough where, you know, the cross slide doesn't get in the way of the moving chuck. I hope those tips really help you. Okay, I forgot to mention one more thing. Again, I keep forgetting this. As I mentioned, you know, one more thing, and you have to make sure you know, that the slider is tight, you know, and it's some set screws as you see on the side, and you have to make sure those are adjusted tight, because if you've seen in my very first video of the boxing, you notice the slide was moving back and forth. That's because the set screws were not set properly. They were set loose where it slides. And again, there's a piece of plastic in here that the set screws are attached to keep it to slide smoothly. Usually it's metal or brass, but since this is a, you know, a little lathe, it's made out of plastic. But you make sure once you set these set screws and you tighten them, and these tighten actually by Allen wrench. They don't use sockets. It's actually, you can see there are like nuts on here, bolts and nuts, but actually the socket screw is inside the nut, so these don't really move, I don't think. It's just the Allen wrench screws are inside of here. So you just tighten those 4 screws up, and it's going to make it where there won't be any slack or any wobble in your table when it slides. It's going to be tight, as you can see, and it doesn't move. So that's just a quick tip that I wanted to let you guys know. Once you do all those things, those 4 things, as I mentioned earlier, your machine would just work better, and it would just cut better. So again, you know, and there's set screws down here too that you have to adjust as well. Once you adjust that, the set screws here on the cross slide and the other one cross slide at the top, you're done, you know. And you have a very good lathe machine that you can actually do some real work with. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and that was just a quick follow-up on this lathe so far, and I hope you enjoy it. I gotta go now. Goodbye.